Welcome to 2021. Here we are in a new year. Having a word for the year is something I've been doing for, I don't know, probably like 8 years or something. I'd have to go back and look and see. I started it when I was blogging, and I'd seen other bloggers that had a word for the year and did different things with it. So over the years, like sometimes I wrote a blog post every month or every week, some years, on my word, and just dug into like, what does that look like in scripture? Where does it show up? And so kind of did a word study through the year on my word. And so I've done peace and rest and build and different words. Last year was clarity, which when I got that word, I was like, well, like 2020 vision, like how obvious is that? But I still felt like that was the word. And I did a little bit of word study at the beginning of the year, and then just didn't really follow through with it like I usually do. And didn't really feel like I got as much clarity. Like I got clarity for sure in things. I just maybe always want more. And one of the things he highlighted was, I think of clarity as that crystal clear vision and focus, but clarity being an attribute of diamonds, and part of how they're graded and valued was one of the things that he brought out. And clarity actually being, in a sense, more like integrity, like there being I'd have to go back and look at the words. I wasn't going to talk about this, so I didn't look at it. But really like an integrity, like there being a consistency between what's said and what's done. And I can't remember at the moment why that came up with clarity, but that's part of it. Like we're not going to be clear in our message. We're not going to be clear in our purpose if we're living different than we're talking. And so maybe I feel I didn't grow in that as much in 2020 as I would have wanted to, but I definitely see more clearly places that I need to grow in that. And so my word for 2021 is pursue. And the verse that the Lord gave me with that is Matthew, I don't remember, I think it's 6, but seek first the kingdom, and then all these things will be added unto you. That is pursuing him, pursuing his plans, pursuing his vision, that will make everything else work out and come into clarity. So, and in that, there's pursuing him and his presence, and pursuing righteousness, and pursuing clarity. There's different things that probably throughout the year, like we'll have a focus of each month of what's something to pursue. And this month, probably more just pursuing that in general. Like, what does it look like to pursue something? What does it look like to pursue the Lord and his plans and his purposes? And so this might be kind of a stretch, but a story I wanted to tell you. It came to mind as I was thinking about doing the live today. We have our Christmas tree up, and my daughter that was just up here in my lap was doing something funny with her eyes. And she's like, I'm making the Christmas tree look funny. Can you see it? And I was like, no, we can't, because we can't see through your eyes. And I just thought it's a neat lesson in a lot of ways. For one, expecting other people to see what we see. We were able to, well, we weren't able to do. She said she was seeing 2 Christmas trees. And I was like, well, like I'm trying to do what you're telling me that you're doing with your eyes, but that's not what I'm seeing. Like I'm seeing fuzzy picture or whatever, but I'm not seeing two trees. And um but it takes the conversation and getting close enough to communicate enough to know that we're not seeing what someone else is seeing, for somebody to be able to tell us, I don't see what you see in this, and to be able like, oh, well, if you look at it this way, or maybe if this piece is missing so that you can see it the way that we see it. And in looking at the word pursue for this year, like pursuing, what does it look like to be able to see things as God sees them? To be able to see from his perspective. How do we step into that, and what questions do we need to be asking? We need to be spending time listening, and like, what are the things to be okay, God, I'm not seeing whether this person, this relationship, this business, myself, whatever it is, I'm not seeing it the way you're seeing it. Tell me again. Tell me again how you see it. Tell me how to see it like you see it. And that might mean some forgiving. That might mean some renewing our mind. It might just mean spending more time with him, more time in his word. And it might mean being willing to scrap what we've been told things mean in the scripture and letting him teach us anew. What does it really mean? Where have man's ideas come in and confuse things versus it being what God really said and what he really means? And in part of pursuing that, like just wanting to start things new and fresh, I had planned on having a clear idea of where to go with this group and what I wanted to do with it. And would love feedback from any of you on what you would like to see in the group. But I don't really have that together yet. Like, I still want it to be a place where we're going after God together and where you can ask your questions and get your support. But how to give you that support, how to keep that conversation open, what to call it so that women that need it can find it, all that kind of stuff is not nailed down like I would like it to be. And so welcome feedback, but also inviting you into however it ends up looking, that journey of pursuing the Lord. And then out of that, is there something else that he's calling you to pursue? Is he calling you to pursue your healing? Is he calling you to pursue a ministry? Is he calling you to pursue a business, a job, a relationship? And how can I support you in that pursuit? Because maybe you've been trying to do it on your own and you just need some encouragement, and maybe want to just be able to share prayer requests or share your wins and be cheered on your journey. Maybe you need more support than that. Maybe you need somebody to check in with you. Maybe you need somebody to help you plan out those action steps and hold you accountable. Maybe you need some coaching to be like, yeah, I know it's time to get the help and to dive in deep and have somebody walk through this with me. So it's what I'm here for. Oh, my words just left me. It's what I'm here for. I am a coach so that I can help you overcome whatever is in your way of what God's calling you to. And a lot of times as women, as moms, it's stuff in our past that we thought we dealt with or that we don't even recognize that's getting in the way of us moving forward, or that's keeping us from being able to equip our kids the way that we want to. And so I love to walk with women through that healing process and that equipping process, because they go hand in hand. If you get equipped for battle, like knowing what your weapons are, but you step out in a spiritual battle without having an appropriate level of healing, that gives the enemy places to attack that you don't know how to defend, or that can take you out. So the healing is needed. But if you just get healed and step out without the weapons, without the skills, then again, it's going to be a lot harder than it needs to be. It's going to hurt a lot more than it would need to. So really, Phil, they go together. So what is God calling you to pursue, and how can I support you in that, from little ways to big ways? And if you have ideas you want to share, you can share them here. I'll put a link so that you can schedule a call with me if you've got stuff you want to talk through more in depth. And just praying for us all to be able to see ourselves, the people in our lives, and even the unfolding of history that we're in from God's perspective instead of from our own, because from our own can be really discouraging, but God isn't discouraged. So he is seeing things that we're not seeing. And I pray that we all can see that more and more this year, and just bless you in 2021.
That kind of scary.